Hello everyone, it's Stretford. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you everyone once again. Guys, let's get straight into it. Manchester United have began talks with Victor Gyokeres. Is that how you say it? Victor Gyokeres? Victor Gyokeres? Victor Gyokeres? Guys, either way, Manchester United have begun talks with Victor Gyokeres in regards to a move to Manchester United, but this does depend on one stipulation, maybe a couple, maybe three stipulations. Manchester United need to offload some players. Of course we do. Of course, Manchester United are looking to sell the likes of Marcus Rashford, Anthony, looking to sell, and also we are looking to get rid of the likes of Luke Shaw, who of course surplus the requirements in regards to his injury record, which is absolutely atrocious, and Jadon Sancho, of course, as well, guys, who is, as we know, the freedom fighter that we need to get rid of as well. Because at the end of the day, look, you know, one thing we found difficult over the years is trying to get rid of some players. Getting players in hasn't always been the hardest thing. It's always been getting rid of players. It's always been the hardest thing to do, is getting rid of players for Manchester United. That's why a lot of these players run down their contracts. And when they run down their contracts, they end up, you know, getting a big hefty payoff and stuff, you know. And to be honest with you, that is the mentality and the culture at the football club that has been evident for the last 12 years. But Manchester United have, in a good news, Manchester United have began talks with Gyokeres and his entourage. So hopefully Man United can agree a deal with Gyokeres, and then we move on to the football club in regards to Sporting Lisbon. Now, of course, Man United are still in talks with Brentford about a move for Imagery, and that has not gone through yet. So all this excitement and that, I'm not going to get too excited until it's signed on the dotted line. That is what is most important. I won't get too excited yet, but we're hopeful because things are looking a lot more positive these days than they were a few months ago, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Things are looking a little bit more positive. I do believe that we have been kicked up the backside. I think losing in the Europa League final was a real eye-opener in regards to that, you know what, a lot of work needs to be done and we need to get on with it right now, guys. But you know what, nothing has been signed, sealed, delivered yet. Apart from Cunha, nothing has been signed, sealed, delivered. So let's hope that we do get a couple of more players through the door before the 10th deadline. Of course, we only need to wait 6 days until the window opens again, so we don't need to worry too much. But you know what, if we get something done this week, that would be great. And as much done before the preseason as possible, because over the last few years, it's been one of the biggest issues have been we haven't had a proper preseason with the team. We haven't had a proper preseason with the team. We wait until the last minute to sign players. And then by the time we get to the preseason, we're still negotiating with players. And obviously that's a distraction. And you need as many of your players, your new players in as possibly can be. Big up everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you're good. Good to see you. Good MUC forever. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. PLJ, what's going up? Big up. What's up? I'm good, my friend. Hope you're doing well. DSC, big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Anvish, what's going on? Yo, everyone. Big up, my friend. How you doing? Kazi, the legend. What's going on, bro? What's good? Ema Barrett to all. Thank you, Ema Barrett, to you too, Kazi. Hope you're doing well. DSC. Heard Kobe may be up to sell. Going to get into that very, very quickly. Tulip, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And Bremer is a top 10 right winger in the world. 60 million is fair. Victor and Victor are top 5 nines in the world. 60 million is a bargain. Need a goalkeeper too. Onana is awful. CM is bonus. CB not needed. You know what, Tulip? I cannot argue with anything you said there. That is an absolutely great comment, because there is nothing about that comment that I say, nah, that's not true. That's true. 60 million is cheap. You know, when we're thinking about the grand scheme of things, we're thinking about Embremo, we're thinking about Gyokeres, and we're thinking about, you know, a new goalkeeper. 60 million for Gyokeres, you know, I mean, I'm telling you, guys, in any other decade, he would be 100 million. You know what I mean? At the end, with the amount of goals that he's scoring, I mean, I think that the value of players has decreased over the last few years. And I think that Gyokeres is a bargain at 60 million. And I think also Embremo is a bargain at 60 million. And I also think Cunha was a bargain as well, given that they're Premier League experienced. As I said in the earlier show, if it was Chelsea, if it was Liverpool, if it was Arsenal signing these players, I would be like, well, you know what? They mean business. They mean business. And I'm glad the way we're doing things quickly. Now, look, we've only got Cunha through the door. Nothing is done yet. Hopefully, we can wheel and deal our business and get that done. The Mbeumo deal done quickly, so we could go straight on to Gyokeres deal as well. Absolutely. Equals number 9, and the goalkeeper is very important. If we can get a goalkeeper in as well, it'd be brilliant. David Beckham, well deserved, my main man. David Beckham, well deserved, my main man. What's David Beckham happened? What's happened with that? Big up. Second bid for Mbeumo going in soon. So reported by Ben Jacobs. Seems that it is coming to a closure. Now need to go going fast for Gyok. Yeah, hopefully it is. Second bid will come in. Hopefully they agree to it. As I said earlier, in regards to Mbeumo, once you publicly announce that you want to leave, you want to go to Man United, it's very hard comeback from there. You know, Brentford are forced. Their hand is forced. Their hand is tied. They have to let him go. Otherwise, it's going to be an unhappy player at the football club. Big up Ben Jacobs, by the way. Ben Jacobs has been on this channel twice. Got a lot of respect for Ben Jacobs. Absolutely killing it at the moment. Him and Fabrizio are just at it's like, I mean, Ben is slightly going ahead of Ornstein this summer. I'm telling you, he's really doing his thing. So big up Ben Jacobs, and hopefully he'll be back on the show very soon, guys. Absolutely. But yeah, look, you know, we will come in with a second offer. Hopefully Brentford accept it. Brentford are going to be digging their heels in. Of course, they're going to be digging their heels in. They are very bitter about what's going on, as with other clubs about Man United. There's lots of bitterness going on about Man United right now. But we don't care. We don't really care. I actually miss this kind of thing. I actually miss when teams hated us because we were doing things in a positive light, you know, at the end of the day. B. Ryan, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Breaking news. Personal terms agreed between Mbeumo and Manchester United. B. Ryan, let's have a look. Let's have a look. If you are telling porcupines or you are telling the truth, let's have a look. It was always gonna come to the fore anyway. He was always gonna accept the deal. The deal. Look, man, the deal, the wages with Mbeumo are not a problem. Mbeumo deal is going to be agreed. It all boils down to Brentford and Manchester United whether we agree a fee, which is the most important thing, of course. And Bremo's already stated that he wants to come to Manchester United. So from there, we're not really losing, really. To be honest, that should be all right. Yeah, nothing in regards to Bremo at the moment. No, he's going to accept terms. The terms are not going to be a problem. The problem is going to be the fee that Brentford request. I think we're going to get him 55 to 60 around that mark. It's going to be with add-ons, you know, it's going to be something around that mark, which I think is fair in my opinion. Absolutely. Any more than that, then that's when it starts to get a little bit. Nah, that's too much. Hencho, what's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? I watched Manicone of Roma with France yesterday, and he bossed that midfield. I like Mars Far, the goalkeeper of Roma too. I will go for one of them for sure. At the moment, Hencho, I will go for any goalkeeper other than Onana. Any goalkeeper other than Onana will be okay for me. I'm looking at it that way. I think that a competent goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that breeds confidence within the team, that's what I would be looking for if I was Manchester United. Because at the moment, we don't have a goalkeeper who breeds confidence. It's pretty evident. You saw some of the reactions from some of the defenders last season. You know, we have eyes. We've seen it. You know, people, they could talk about how they rate him, how they believe in him, they think he's a good goalkeeper, but we've seen it with our own eyes. I've seen Maguire second guess when Onana was coming out, and Maguire quickly kicked it out, and his hands were like this, like this. And you know, you can't hide pull the wool over our eyes with that. I mean, we do need a new goalkeeper, absolutely. Even about Tulip, hope you're doing well. Big up, Rich. What's going on? Big up. Just saw Inter bid for Rashford. Not sure if it's credible at the moment. Good if there's interest. Yeah, absolutely. Red Devils, because also that raises the price of the player, doesn't it? I'm not too sure. I mean, I haven't heard too much about Rashford, about bids. Obviously, Rashford has his heart set on Barcelona. You know, we all have dreams, don't we? At the end of the day, it's good to dream, isn't it? It's good to dream, but Rashford is looking for a move to Barcelona. You know, if Inter bid for him, please, Rashford, just take the bid. Take the offer. Barca have got Pedri, Rafinha, Lewandowski, you know, Lamine Yamal. take the bloody offer and go and leave, for goodness sake. And I think the most difficult player I feel that is going to be to remove is Jadon Sancho, the freedom fighter. Jadon Sancho is going to be very difficult to remove, I think. I think he's dug his heels in the ground as well, and he's feeling that I'm not moving anywhere. I'm going to run down my contract. This is the kind of guy we're dealing with. So there you go. He rejected Chelsea. He rejected Chelsea. All that love, all that sweetness. And then it happened the same with Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund wanted Jadon Sancho. He wouldn't lower his wages. And the same has happened with Chelsea as well. Absolutely. Big up, Rich. City signing for 30 million euros is crazy. They are elite in negotiations. Yeah. Incho. It's not about elite. It's about they're cheaters, mate. They bend the rules, completely bend the rules, and no one touches them. No one goes near them. These 115 charges that they've got, they've just let them off the hook, to be honest with you, in my opinion. And what does that tell you about these rules that are currently in place? I think they're farce, to be honest. FFP, at the end, and PSR are just a farce. If the rules can be bent, then you know what? There's no point in having the rules there. Because there's one rule for one rule for the other. I knew that they weren't going to fine Man City. I knew that they were going to deduct points for Man City. I knew that would happen because at the end of the day, they're cowards. They need Man City because of the money and blah, blah, blah. And this is why I always think that Man United need to move on. Man United need to try and take risks. Risk a points deduction. Risk a fine. Risk it. You know what I mean? Gyokeres Old Trafford with the Mars celebration will be fire. Imagine it. And Bremo to Cunha to Gyokeres in the top corner. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Beautiful. It would be lovely. Can you just imagine it? It's just something we haven't seen for a while. So after David Beckham, you should be awarded a knighthood, Sir Warner. Big up, my friend Anvish. That's very kind of you. I'm Leytonstone lad, just like David Beckham. We're born in the same hospital, the same place. We're good people, us Leytonstone East Londoners. We're good people, guys. So, yeah, big up David Beckham. David Beckham, an absolute legend. One of the only ex-players who speaks the truth. Actually speaks on a love for Manchester United. A lot of those other pundits, ex-players, don't speak on a love for Manchester United. Beckham does. Absolutely. This is why he wanted Qatar. Kerwin, good morning, good evening, good night. What's going on? What's up, everyone? Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. I personally think Bremer will be done before next Monday. Personally, I think it's obvious. It will be done pretty certain, very soon, hopefully. But it ends on the 10th, so hopefully we can get it on 10th. Sir David Beckham now. Sir David Beckham. Congratulations to David Beckham on the knighthood. Big up David Beckham. Well-deserved. Well bloody deserved as well. Absolutely well-deserved. Sir David Beckham. My goodness me. There you go, guys. From being sent off in the 1998 World Cup, from being one of the most hated guys in England to being literally royalty, isn't it? Sir David Beckham. Congratulations, David Beckham. Really, really well-deserved in regards to that. One of the most underrated players in Manchester United's history, in my opinion. He gets so put under the radar in regards to us, in regards to what he did for us, in regards to his assists, in regards to the treble-winning season, what he did. It's well-deserved. What an ambassador, what a human being, and what a Man United fan, most of all. Absolutely superb Man United fan, an absolute legend. And I wish him all the best, absolutely. Sir David Beckham. Big up British Bulldog. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, Sal. If you had to sell Mainu or Bruno, I don't want to go into that, Natty. Bloody hell. I don't want to go into that right now. The CM market is very dry. Hope we don't sell Kobe on the cheap. For a midfielder, I'd only sell him if it means getting Wharton. I agree, Tulip. I think Wharton is the guy for Man United. I think we all know that. I'm a little bit disillusioned in regards to Kobe Mainu because the way Kobe Mainu started off in his first season, I just don't think you could become a bad player overnight. I just don't think that you can turn into an average footballer overnight. He got his England cap early. After 6 months, he's playing for England. After 7 months, he's in the Euros final with England. So I just feel like, what, I don't want to, I feel like he needs one more season. If he can get one more season, and if he does well, then we keep him. But they're going to want to cash in on him, isn't it? They're going to want to cash in him. They want to get the money from him. So we'll have to wait and see, of course. Dohadoro, what's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? I truly feel if we get these signings, we're going to be a force next season. We are the real sleeping giants, and every one of our opponents are scared. I do agree with that, Doro. I really do agree with that. And I spoke about it earlier on Breaking Dawn, that this Premier League, right, as much as everyone wants to speak and hype it up, this Premier League is probably the weakest it's been since I can remember Premier League. I think it's one of the weakest Premier Leagues there has been. So I think it's a very big opportunity for someone to grab, because this is not the best Liverpool side I've ever seen. You know, this is not the best Man City side or the Arsenal side, you know, or the Chelsea side. I think this is a great opportunity. So if Man United can sign these brilliant players and they can come through the door, we get them done early, there's a lot to be scared about Man United. This is why they're panicking and fidgeting and stuff like that. You know, this is why they're panicking and fidgeting, because at the end of the day, like Man United are a sleeping giant, as you said, with the wounded beast. Beware the wounded beast, as they say. So Man United, when we awake from our slumber, you will see a completely different beast. And you know what? They don't want that, because a lot of these people, a lot of these fans and pundits are like, have witnessed 30 years odd of Man United being successful. About 30 years odd of Man United being successful. And it hurts them. It hurts them. It does. You know what I mean? And they don't want it to come back. Absolutely, Kazi. All that stuff yesterday was a lie, as I quoted yesterday on the show. Absolutely. The problem with Brentford, they want more money. They want the more money up front. Yes, this is where we're negotiating at the moment. So let's see what happens. We must avoid Savage, the keeper. I watched a few games and he parries straight into like an Onana. Look, Tulip, what I would say is that there was a few times he's done that, right? A few times, but it's not as much as Onana. I watched him intensively, you know what I mean? And he's not that goalkeeper. This is like they picked out a couple of times he'd done that. And look, YouTube can be manipulating. YouTube can manipulate. I don't do the YouTube thing. I look with my own eyes. I watch the games. You know what I mean? And I watched Milinkovic-Savic a lot of times. And for Torino, and he's absolutely superb goalkeeper. Dominant. You know, I've seen him push it out many times. They pick one or two. You could pick Peter Schmeichel, right? You can get Peter Schmeichel, and I'll show you about 20 times when he's powered it out to the opposition. You could do that. It's that's the way it is, isn't it? Not comparing him to Peter Schmeichel, but I'm just saying. Sal, do you take Kepa for 5 billion? Mate, I'll take a bloody beanpole for you know, instead of Onana at the moment. But I don't rate Kepa that highly. Villa and PSR trouble. Yes, severe trouble. Emi Martinez and Amadou Onana on the cheap. That with Bremo, Cunha and Victor will be an elite window. Big up, Tulip. Thank you, Tulip. Good comments, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Interested that United recorded an operation profit quarter last year. Club has a massive loss. Yeah. I mean, we need investment. Honestly, it's time to move on from Amarim. Honestly, it's time to move on from you, Groovy. I think we need to move on from you, Groovy, because you're not very groovy. You're very idiotic. I like Emmy, but he is too old and a little bit overrated. Sevilla of Roma is the future. Huncho, look, there's Seni Lamens, who people are not looking at. They're sleeping on. There's Gilherm Restes, who people are not looking at. They're sleeping on. There's great goalkeepers out there. There's great goalkeepers out there. We just have to find those goalkeepers, you know, and get them. And I would say that any goalkeeper that Ruben Amorim wants, I'm going to back 100%. Onana's not that guy. Onana's not Ruben Amorim's guy. So let's wait and see, of course. Absolutely. Rich, I'm actually thinking Sancho stays and runs his contract down. Hope I'm wrong. I'm thinking that as well, Rich. I think he is. I think he's that character, to be honest with you. Just to dig one into Manchester United, just to dig a dagger into Manchester United, he would say, look, I'm going to just run out my contract. I mean, what a mercenary. Ungrateful git. That's what I would say, you know what I mean? Don't know what he's got. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Sport brat. DSE, he's riding the gravy train, man. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Rashid twerking to Barcelona bench. Shake my head. Freedom could go Borussia Dortmund to replace Gittins, but then Brokies can't afford them. I mean, Borussia Dortmund are good at taking money. They're good at taking money, but when it comes to giving it out, dishing the money out, there's nowhere to be seen. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's nowhere to be seen. Yale, Jen Jacobs did say Sancho has suitors to Saudi. It's up to him though, isn't it, Yale? He's the one who has the 300 grand a week. You know, is he going to reduce his wages? Because I know full well that no one's going to pay him that money. I don't think Man United can do a transfer deal unless he reduces his wages, because his wages are astronomical. And as we know with Chelsea, he didn't reduce his wages. So we got a little bit of a pickle here. We got a bit of a problem here with Jadon Sancho, our friend Jadon Sancho. He could be the player that becomes a thorn in our side, a piece of meat stuck in between our teeth, basically, somewhat. You know, so we have to really push Sancho out the door. It's difficult to keep a player on 300 grand a week in the reserves. He's an asset. So the only thing I could foresee is him either going on loan to some other club, and we pay a fraction of the wage, or he goes to Saudi Arabia. Is he the right character to go to Saudi Arabia? Personally, I think it would be brilliant for Jadon Sancho to go to Saudi Arabia. I think it'd be very good for his mentality and stuff like that to go to Saudi Arabia. And he can enjoy the sunshine over there and be a good boy, as well as enjoying the sunshine as well. And learn about the birds and the bees and stuff like that at the end of the day. But we hope that we can get rid of Jadon Sancho, of course. Lots of players to get rid of, lots of business to do. It's going to be a very, very busy summer. Big up, Lucky Singh. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. We're not living with Savar. Also need an alpha with a big ego in goal. It's a different or required. I agree with Tulip there. A goalkeeper does need a little bit of an ego. He needs a bit of a domineering sort of personality, overpowering. Peter Schmeichel was this. Edwin van der Sar was as well. I mean, these were overpowering goalkeepers, domineering. If you were going to criticize, let's say, David De Gea, he was too quiet. You need a personality in goal. Absolutely, you need a personality in goal. Someone who can take the pressure off the players as well. Like, for example, when there's a corner, comes out for the corner, grabs the corner, takes the pressure off the team, and then that's what we need. That's what we need. And something is simple. Goalkeeping is simple. Roy Keane says it. Roy Keane does downplay goalkeepers somewhat, but we do need a domineering, confident goalkeeper. Absolutely. B. Ryan. The news was actually posted by Dan. Not sure about the second name, but he has just released the news of United agreed personal terms of Mbeumo. A second bid of 55 million and an extra 5 million is expected. Look, B. Ryan, what I would say to you, my bro, is pretty obvious that Mbeumo is going to agree a deal with Manchester United. It's pretty obvious that Brentford are going to agree a deal with Manchester United. Let me tell you that. Whether it's 55, 50 plus 10 million on add-ons, whether it's 55 plus 10 million on add-ons, it's going to happen. It doesn't take a rocket science. So there are chances out there, Ryan. There are chances. I know journalists and stuff like that. There are chances it's guesswork, Ryan. It's guesswork. And what they're doing all this stuff so that they're the first to do it. If Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano have not mentioned it, I bet your bottom dollar those guys who've been talking about it, and there's no disrespect for the hustle, those guys who are talking about it don't know anything. Let me tell you that right now. Absolutely. Blackman, Joe Blackman, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see the legend back in the house. Hope you're good, brother. Hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. Remember to like the stream. Good. Big up, Joe Blackman. Big love for your support. Absolutely. Big up. That's better. Groovy Turma. That's better. Groovy. A nicer comment. There you go. Absolutely. You can get there. Absolutely. And let me tell you something. Huncho Tulip. Let me tell you something about football. Football is subjective, right? Football is subjective. You like a goalkeeper. Another person likes a goalkeeper. Some people like Marmite. Other people don't like Marmite. That's the way it is, right? I like Marmite on toast. That is the way it is at the end of the day. I like beans and tuna. That's the way it is at the end of the day. When I get beans and tuna, people look at me like, Sal, what you doing? But I do it because I like it. I like it myself. You know what I mean? But what it is, at the end of the day, you can argue till you're blue in the face about what goalkeepers we're going to sign. At the end of the day, there are a number of great goalkeepers out there. Emi Martinez, of course, will be a fabulous goalkeeper, as would the goalkeeper that our friend Tulip said as well. Will be a great goalkeeper for Man United. And one thing is for certain, that these goalkeepers that we're mentioning right now will be a lot better than what we have right now. That's what it is, So anything right now would be an upgrade. Even James Trafford and team players like that would be an upgrade. You know, Milinkovic-Savic would be an upgrade, you know. And at the end of the day, I just feel like Onana is a bozo. Onana's not a bad goalkeeper, but he's not an elite goalkeeper. He's not a great goalkeeper. He's a goalkeeper. For example, if let's predict, guys. For example, if David De Gea was in goal last season, what do you foresee would have been the outcome? What do you think would have been the outcome? I think we've been a lot more high up the league. I think we probably would have won the Europa League, maybe. Who knows? You know, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Big up David Beckham, Sir David Beckham. Now, get it right. Get it right. Now, hearing positive reports for the transfers, absolutely, of course. Give us Martinez, Gyokeres, a Baleba or Wharton, and we start cooking. And Vesh, I would love that, my bro. I love that, my bro. I would love that. I would enjoy that. Wharton or Baleba in midfield, Gyokeres in the up front, Cunha and Mbremo. Goodness me. And there's still people out there who are doubting Cunha and Mbremo. There's people out there who are disappointed that we signed Cunha and Mbremo. Heck, there's people out there who are against signing Gyokeres. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And they're so-called Man United fans. The problem is that some people have their favorite players, and some people don't remove themselves away from their favorite players. So when we sign another player who's not their favorite player, they try to make excuses as to why this player is not good enough. This is why this player is not good enough. He's not good enough. You know, and there's a few on this channel, you know, who've come on this channel. Some of which have been on other channels and been known as liars and things like that. I think Joe Blackman knows who they are. We need to get back in Europe, so I need a proven keeper for now. Don't mind a younger understudy, but don't trust youngsters in the start. Sorry, Huncho. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree at the end of the day. Do you think we could do a deal with Modric? He's going to AC Milan, I think, Groovy. He's going to AC Milan. We can need one or two English players. Wharton could be important. I think Wharton would be a great signing for Man United. I don't know about anyone else, but I think he's been under the radar. I think if we sign Wharton, it'd be a fabulous signing for Manchester United. It'd be Carrick-esque for me. People underrate him because it's not a fashionable signing. You know, Wharton, you know, we want Edison, the Brazilian, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But a player like Wharton would be a fabulous signing for Man United. Absolutely brilliant for Man United. Tulip, Malin, give him the bag, Groovy. Manchester United fans need cash. Casemiro. You want to sell Casemiro? I don't know. Big up. Milan have him in the bag. Yep. Yeah, they have him in the bag. He's getting on a little bit anyway, guys. Kenny, Itchen just found out that Gyokeres has a dual nationality, Swedish and Hungarian. Yes, most Swedish do. Most Norwegians do, Kenny. Yeah, it's well known. Ibrahimovic, for example. Absolutely. Liverpool were lucky last season. PGMO saved them. Yep. Gladiator King, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Without the league, UEFA Champions League trophies within the past decade, we're still second largest club in the world, valued at only 100 million less than Real Madrid. Yep. Imagine where we would have been if we were performing on the pitch. Gladiator King. We'll be right up there. Now, imagine where we would be if we didn't have the Glazers, if we didn't have all that debt. You know, imagine where we would be right now if we didn't have the Glazers in charge. You know, we'd be up there, right at the top, wouldn't we? Billion in debt at the moment. Get rid of that billion in debt. Man United are right at the top again. You know, if Man United was successful, Man United will be at the top as well. But unfortunately, we've been owned by a cancerous ownership that are only interested in taking money out of the football club. Now, a lot of people are getting giddy. A lot of people are getting excited about what Ineos are doing and what, you know, some people saying the Glazers are doing. But what I would stress is that this is Manchester United money, right? And Manchester United should be doing this. This is Manchester United at the end of the day. You've got to look at what Real Madrid would do, Bayern Munich would do, all these teams would do, you know, at the end of the day. So you give fair play to Jason Wilcox and people like that if they can persuade the likes of Gyokeres to come to Manchester United. But we also have to remember who we are. You know, we should be having these rebuilds. We still need a midfielder, a right wing back, a centre back, a goalkeeper, absolutely. And some may say another left back as well. But there we go, guys. Absolutely. Ag, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Ag 507. Feel like we're going to get top 6 with the signing. I think we're going to get higher than that, Ag. Remember these words. We're going to get higher than that, mate. We're going to get higher. We're going to move up that table. We're going to be in the top 4, guys. Hopefully higher. Worst option out there, honestly. Parries every single shot into danger and cannot pass a parcel. Anyone but him, Huncho. Tulip, live and let be, my guy, my person, whoever you are. We will be back in Europe next season. We will be. I'm pretty certain of that. Savic has been the best goalkeeper in Italy. He is a great, he's the guy I want. Me too, Yarley, me too. You know what I mean? Me too. He was at Man United before. Alex Ferguson rated him, didn't he? Huncho, I agree with you now, but give me Emmy then for now. Give me anyone, guys. Come on, guys. We're being spoiled, ain't we? We're very entitled fan base, ain't we? That we want this player, we want that player. You know what I mean? It's a bit like choosing between a Ferrari and a Porsche, isn't it? You know, that's what we want. I know I prefer the Ferrari. No, I want the Porsche. I like the Porsche. You know when you watch those house programs, when people go into these houses and they look around and go, nah, it's not for me. I don't really like the color of the wallpaper. Things like that. You know what I mean? But the house is like literally a mansion, right? And they're like, I don't like the color of the wallpaper. I don't like the wood, and things like that. Those sort of programs, they really annoy me, honestly. I will take any goalkeeper over Nanana, me, Natty, as well. That is my feeling. I would absolutely love it if they went for Diego Costa. Big up. He makes too many mistakes, DSC. Made some against Man United. We all remember that, in my opinion. But don't be surprised if we get Costa because he's Portuguese. How many midfielders we need? One at the moment. I think we can get one. One would be all right. I won't be spoiled. One would be. If we get Walton through the door, I'd be absolutely delighted. Absolutely. Tulip plays, what do you suggest as a midfielder? I want to know your answer. Everyone's going to have different answers, guys. That's at the end of the day. B. Ryan, true for Braga Manchester United has agreed personal terms with Embremo over a 5-year contract over a year. Let me see Disco Mirror. That's pretty obvious, B. Ryan. Man United, look at that. Look at how that's written, right? There's no numbers. There's no numbers in there. B. Ryan, look how that's written. United Truthful hasn't got the insight to Man United, let me tell you. I know that for a fact. He was always going to agree personal terms with Manchester United. That was always going to be a case. That was already done. That was done. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that he's agreed personal terms. He's a guesswork, B. Ryan. It's guesswork. Beware of these people in there. I know Fabrizio. I know Ben Jacobs. I know, I'm aware of Ornstein. These people, they are very, very chancers. They're chancers. That's what they do. They do things so they go, I was the first one to do it. I told you I broke the news. Oh, I broke the news. They didn't. They hide behind a fake account, with a completely different face, and then they pretend that they know everything. Man United signing in Bremo is literally 80% anyway. You know what I mean? So I could say that. Breaking news, Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Brian Embremo. Brian Embremo is now agreed personal terms. We're just waiting for Brentford. Because we all know, guys, that it is all down to what Brentford want. That's what it is. We know that Embremo's going to accept personal terms, guys, at the end of the day. Goodness me. Afternoon. Freya. How is their talks with Victor Gyokeres going? Lee Gyokeres, that's exactly what I said, Lee. Get a life, mate. Goodness me. No one calls Bruno Fernandes, do you? I bet you don't call Bruno Fernandes, do you? Because you know what? You don't know about them sort of things, do you? Gyokeres, whoever it is. We all know what we're talking about at the end of the day, guys. You know what I mean? I speak to journalists who call him different names as well. Sal, how much is it going to sign it? Lamine Kamara? It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot, Natty. Probably at 40, 50 million. What do you think of Florentino Luis of Benfica for now? Lots of names being mentioned here, Hunt. Lots of names being mentioned. Look, guys, let me tell you something about football, right? I've been in football, Man United in particular, for over 40 years. Nearly 40 years, sorry. I'm over-aging myself. Nearly 40 years. Let me tell you something about football. It's not just about, I like that player, I'm going to sign that player. It's not about that. You need to get to know the player. What the player's like off the pitch, the personality of the player. Does he fit Ruben Amorim's system? What is he like? Is he a hard worker? How many tackles does he make per game? How many passes, accuracy has he got? You've got to do a lot of research into that. I know a lot of people just say, I like that player. That's my favorite player. I want that player. Come on, guys. We don't do that on this channel, by the way, guys. So please don't do that too much at the end of the day. Throwing names out there. We can all throw names out there. I can go right now and write on Google the best young players in Europe and say, oh, you've heard that player. Have you heard about that player? He's fucking flipping brilliant. Have you, as I said, I can go and talk about the AC Milan reserve team, about, Kamada, Liberali and Scotti, players you guys have never heard of. You know what I mean? Mentioning players is very, very easy. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But it's very easy. And then we're arguing about players who should be playing for Man United, people who are acting like journalists and acting like scouts at the end of the day and saying that this is the right guy for Man United. No, this is the right. It's pretty obvious that what Man United need. We all know what Man United need at the end of the day. And that is what we have to do. So there we go. Less of that. Freya. What about Mbeumo's situation? How's it going? Well, apparently, according to our guy here, agreed personal terms, Man United are waiting on Brentford. The deal, Man United offered 45 plus 10 million in add-ons. They're going in with a second bid. The second bid hasn't been done yet, so Man United have to do a second bid, and let's see what happens from there. Absolutely. If we wait to sell to buy Gyokeres, it'll be difficult. We'll get him. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, Natty. Don't stress yourself, man. Don't stress yourself. Anvish. My second bid, Brentford, is for Brenner, 50 million guarantee, 7.75 minute on easily achievable add-ons of 2.5 million. There you go, mate. Best part of being a loyal United fan is connected with fellow fans like you. Love it, mate. Yeah, groovy. But you're saying you're going to go and support Liverpool earlier on, so I think you need to do a lot more groveling. Maybe send a few super chats, and then you might get out of here, mate, alive. Rather than being blocked. Terma, can you just fucking stop criticizing the team if you don't know everything? Absolutely, mate. Maignan was very bad yesterday too. He's going to be a free transfer, isn't he, Huncho, at the end of the season? He's going to 2026. He's going to be a free transfer, so that's interesting. He's wanted by Chelsea. Selling academy players for money is bad. Look for our club. Yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles now because of PSI and that. DSC, what's going on? Those people don't know footy, mate. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. They do. Whatever. I think I know what you're talking about. NJO, what's going on, my friend? Let's see when it looks like on a pitch. There you go, NJ. The most important thing is what happens on the pitch, isn't it? We can argue for days what players we want. We can argue for days what we want. But you know what? At the end of the day, ultimately, it boils down if there's chemistry between the players. And if they go on the pitch and they perform, you know what I mean? That is what it is. It's chemistry. That's what we're looking for at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely, my guys. People say that Gyokeres will flop in the Premier League. Absolute pathetic agenda. Let them say that. If I was a bike, I'd have wheels. If I had wheels, I'd be a bike. You know what I mean? And let them say whatever they want. I like here we go, guys. With the name dropping and stuff like that. Terma, what the? Ignore him, Frere. Ignore him. No swearing on the stream, please, guys. No swearing, please, guys. Absolutely. Is an elite front three. I agree with that, Tulip. I agree with that. That is an elite front three, a scary front three, so to speak. Big up, Asif. What's going on, my friend? How you doing, Asif? Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Let's read this. Go down. Anvish. Would you take George or Vital over Onana? I remember would like it. If you know what, no, absolutely, I would. I would take him, to be honest with you, Anvesh. I would absolutely 100 would. Sal, between Savage and DB, who do you take as our next goalkeeper? Savage, mate. Alex Ferguson liked him. Personal terms already done. That's old story. Just the pricing of the deal. Absolutely, mate. Kenny, we all know what's going on with Mbeumo. We're waiting on Man United and Brentford to agree a fee, which is the most important thing at the moment. And then, obviously, it will get announced. I don't know why this infatuation with people who want to write down the news before everyone else. Everyone wants to know the news. Guys, I will know about it. And at the end of the day, I'll hear about it. And it will be reported by whoever it's going to be reported by at the end of the day. Yale. Didn't Mbeumo agree personal terms already days ago? He did, mate. Only thing important is the club to agree a transfer fee for the player. Exactly, Yale. This is what I've been talking about. He did. He didn't completely agree personal terms, but he's agreed to come to Manchester United. So the inevitables is that he's going to agree at terms with Manchester United. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? He's going to agree terms with Man United. That's inevitable. In regards to the most hardest bit is getting Brentford to agree a fee. That is, for me, the most hardest bit in regards to that. For Manchester United, the most hardest bit. Miles, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I hope I'm hopeful and positive about our transfer window. Never give up. United forever. Love it. Thank you, brother, for giving everyone a voice on your channel. This is the best man in the channel. God bless you. God bless you, Miles. You're really kind and generous. Thank you so much. I try my best. I try my best to read out everyone's comments. But comments like that make it all worthwhile. Thank you so much, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. Galatasaray are in for Osman. They will try everything to continue with him. Gyokeres is our blessing. The best part of it, he's interested in coming to United. Osman is good, but overpriced. Osman will be second option if we don't get Gyokeres at the moment. If Man United come in for Gyokeres, Galatasaray have a little bit of an issue with their wage structure, so that's going to be difficult. If Man United don't get Gyokeres, Man United will be in for Osman. So that Osman saga will drag on. It will drag on, believe it or not. It will drag on, guys. Kenny, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. This is not breaking news. It will be when agreed by the club. Absolutely nutty. If they don't come from Romano or Einstein, I don't take it seriously. Apart from Stretford Post, I announced Dorgu. I announced the sacking of Eric Ten Hag before most people. One of the first, guys, but I don't get the credit I deserve, guys, absolutely. I announce a lot of things. I'm in touch with a lot of players and stuff like that and a lot of journalists and stuff, so I do announce it. It's not just Ornstein and Romano, but I think that Ben Jacobs has been very good this year. I think Ben Jacobs is going slightly ahead of Ornstein, I think. Big up Ben Jacobs, been on this show twice, good friend of mine, absolutely brilliant. So he's doing it as well. He's doing a damn thing as well, so congratulations to them all. Gladiator. Gyokeres could be our marquee signing. Absolutely, 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 absolutely. He will be an amazing signing, my guys. Kenny, is that staying at Newcastle groovy? Yeah, he is. Yeah, unless we got 80 million. I know he's staying at Newcastle. Hey, David says, yeah, and Bremer has already agreed in personal terms when he said that he wanted only United. That's 40% done right there. Absolutely, David says. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? The rest of it depends on the clubs and the agents, blah, blah, blah. Exactly, David says. You know your stuff, David says. You know Wagwan at the end of the day. When a player openly in the public says that I want to move to that club, wages are inevitable. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter because they're going to go to the club. They're going to go Man United. The biggest problem is the biggest problem, which is agreeing a fee with Brentford and things like that. You know, that is going to be the difficult thing. What do you think of Dani Olmo? Good player, but obviously Barcelona. Call him what you want, Sal. This is a footy chat, not an English pronunciation. So, thank you, DSC. I know. I've had that all day, mate. Gyokeres, Gyokeres, whoever it is, mate. We all from different lands around the world. We pronounce things different. You know, if someone comes up, right, guys, I'm going to say this, right, and I'm going to say this very well. If a Swedish person comes up to Martin in the street and he goes, Martin, would I say it's not Martin, it's Martin. It's not Martin, it's Martin, mate. It's Martin. No, Martin. Yeah, Martin. 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 No, it's Martin. We don't talk about that, do we? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, people just bored, you know. Anvish, so how many players need to be sold to get a striker and a midfielder? We're going to have to sell at least one. And Anthony needs to go. I think Rashford, Anthony, Sancho go. If Rashford, Anthony, and Sancho go, we're going to be all right. If those three go, and given the wages and stuff like that, if those three go, I think we'll be all right. I absolutely think we'll be all right. We need Luke Shaw to go. Luke Shaw's overstayed his welcome at Manchester United. I think he's been here too long. You know what I mean? Earning a wage. He's injured every time the transfer window comes. He's always injured, isn't he? Oh, God, good old Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? Always injured when the transfer window comes. Asif, United in the phase of sell to buy. We have more than 200 million sales ready, and we need over 200 million strength of team. It's something I've been saying for months. Asif Baba, 200 million limit is what Man United have. And now everyone's saying 200 million. That's another exclusive from Stretford Post, by the way. Guys, 200 million we will spend. I've already said it months ago. You know, we will spend that. And whatever we make, of course, guys. Absolutely. But Born and bred Salford. Yeah, you were born and bred East London last week, mate. Brentford, sure, you can spend on transfer striker. Big up. 400 watching, 67 likes, only 67 likes. Hit the like, help my mate grow. This guy's the only community. Big up, Acid. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Can we get to 11,000? We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. Can we do that, guys? Absolutely. Sal, what kind of managers you like? Alex Ferguson. One word, 2 words, actually, or 3. Sir Alex Ferguson. That's the kind of manager I like. Would you keep Rasmus if Gyokeres come in? It depends. I would keep him. I would keep him. I would make him play second fiddle to Gyokeres, and Gyokeres and Rasmus can learn from each other. Well, not from each other, but anyway, Rasmus can learn from Gyokeres. You know what I mean? I would say that. I think we do need a player like Gyokeres in to nurture those younger players. Unfortunately, there's a lot of young players at Man United who have been thrown into the deep end. They've been thrown into the deep end, and they've been expected to score goals, or they've been expected to be the main player, etc., etc., etc. And we know that doesn't work. You know, you need an influx of experienced players as well as youth players. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Sal, do you think United Scouts should look into Asian market? I think, yeah. I mean, look, Asif, I would say this. I think they should. I think they should look in Japan. I think they should look in these countries. I think there's a number of players who come from Australia as well. Australia is a good place to look. Some great players have played in Australia. Mark Viduka, Harry Kewell have played in Australia. There's, you can go. I mean, just because it's Malaysia or it's Singapore, it's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, doesn't mean that these players are not good. Some of them might have the technical ability. They just need to be nurtured, So I would never say never. And no, of course. I would never say no. Tulip, I think we should go get Gyokeres and a goalkeeper, then save the midfield money for next window to get Wharton, Baleba. Rebuild doesn't have to be one window. What I said, Tulip, Ruben Amorim has already said it already, that the rebuild won't be everything. Man United will do bits. So basically what you were saying there is Man United will do the attack and then do the defense and then do the midfield, like something like that, or attack, midfield and defense, then goalkeeper. So Man United are working it down, in my opinion, right? So Ruben Amorim has already said that we're not going to get all the business done this window, right? But one thing is for certain, I would love Wharton at the football club. Will we get him? If we get Gyokeres, Cunha and Mbeumo, I'd be extremely surprised if we got Wharton as well. Even though it's a godsend, we need it. We have to offload a load of players. We really do. We have to offload a few players to get Wharton through the door or Baleba through the door. We have to offload a few players, and hopefully we can. Hopefully we can. If we can get rid of some players, it will speed up the process. It will speed up the process. The likes of obviously Anthony and Rashford and Sancho, those 3 alone would be fantastic if we get rid of. We managed to get rid of Luke Shaw, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Malacia, absolutely fantastic. Mason Mount, looks like Mason Mount staying at Man United at the moment. I know Mason Mount, but, he'd probably be a squad player from there. Big up Tulip. Ab, why are United England players think they are above the club by making dramas on and off the pitch? Sancho's, Rashford's, Greenwood's, Luke Shaw's comes to mind. Self-entitlement, Ab. I'm English, by the way, Ab. So I would say that it's a background upbringing, parental upbringing, and rich too soon. That's what it is. The worst thing you can do in life in general is give a bozo money, a millionaire, make an idiot rich. Like I've always said, stop making idiots rich. That's what they need to do. Stop doing, Tulip. Big up Tulip. Born and die, always United. Big up, Leeson. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, good evening, good night, Shah. What's going on? Morning, Shah. You already see some United fans saying that Gyokeres is a flop. Ignore them, mate. What I do, personally, I ignore them, mate. I ignore them. I don't let it get to me. I really don't let it get to me. I let them cry on. Let them cry. Let them cry. Let them cry. Cry me a river, as Justin Timberlake once said. Cry me a river. Let them do. We just do our thing. We do our thing. We get the players in, and that is what it's all about at the end of the day. And that's what I would say. Thank you, Delat, for coming and not coming to us. Absolutely. There you go. Absolutely. It was all doom and gloom then, wasn't it? Freya, So, what do you think about Ephraim Turam? He will be a good combination with Bruno, and he is good at both pressing defensively and controlling the game. He's a good player, mate. He's a good player. I think he's a good player. Another player I want to talk about is Timber. Timber's brother. Timber has a brother, by the way. Of course, Timber has a brother. Man United have been linked with Timber. I was going to bring this into the show the other day, but it's just my mind. But Man United are looking at Timber's brother. Basically, Quinton Timber. So Quinton Timber is a player that currently plays for Feyenoord. Okay, Quinton Timber is obviously a decent player. Who obviously his brother's playing for Arsenal at the moment, but he is a central midfielder. Contract expires in a year's time, so Man United could strike a deal with Quinton Timber by next year. So Quinton Timber is only 23 years old. He is a midfielder, central midfielder, can also play defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder as well. Decent player. Got 5 caps for Holland already, guys. So very, very, very decent player, guys. Quinton Timber. Keep an eye out for Quinton Timber. There's a lot going on about him at the moment. Obviously, Arsenal Timber's brother. So let's play that by ear and let's see what happens with that, guys. Absolutely. Little bit of news to bring into you. Afternoon, good night. It's afternoon for me. Yeah, getting on to afternoon. Absolutely. Nati. Well, Sal, Rob Dawson said Osimhen is not possible a player Ruben Amorim wanted. He's not the favourite player for Ruben Amorim. Absolutely not. Ruben Amorim doesn't want Osimhen as the main striker. He wants Gyokeres. Gyokeres. I don't want to annoy people. Tulip. Sal, we also have to bear in mind that we are not in Europe, so the squad doesn't need to be as big quality over quantity, in my opinion. Agree with that, Tulip. Absolutely. Just as long as we got the first 11, they're settled. It'd be great. We're also going to bring in some good youngsters. We got some good youngsters at our club. People forgetting that. Kamason, Mentato, Kunkunki, Fredrickson, Lenny Yoro young, Ahmad young, we got some good young players at our club. Collier is a good young player. Fletcher is a good young player. Shea Lacey is a good young player. Chidobe is a good young player. So we got to give these players a chance as well, haven't we? We've really got to give these players a chance as well. Absolutely. Big up, Tulip. Unless the one that calls the pronunciation as the name of Gyokeres. I mean, at the end of the day, my name has never been pronounced wrong. That's why I call myself Sal. You know what I mean? But it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It's just some people think that it bothers people. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Ben Jacobs in print this summer, definitely up there with Romain Upset. Absolutely brilliant from Ben Jacobs. Thank you, Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs has been on my show a couple of times. He'll be back on this show, guys, again. So hopefully I have the great man Fabrizio on very soon as well. I'm off to Italy in July, so hopefully we can arrange something maybe. Let's hopefully, fingers crossed, and see what happens, guys. So let's see what happens. Watch this space. Tulip. Gyokeres plays as a hard shoulder too and runs the channels hard either. And one thing about Gyokeres is that he can assist. He's good at assisting as well. He's very good at assisting goals. Sure. Do you think Sancho will just run down his contract and make more money next year? He wants money instead of freedom. I think he's a money man. I think he's a mercenary, Shah. I really do. I think his main aim is to run down the contract. Man United need to try and force him out the club, make it as uncomfortable for him as possible. I hope they do. Absolutely. Asif, I have people writing off Gyokeres. Mad, isn't it? By saying he is in the Farmers League. He done it in the Champions League, Asif. You know what I mean? He was scoring under Amorim and never stopped scoring after 63 goals. Mate, you score 63 goals, Asif. You are an absolute monster, right? Where's the noise coming about Sesko? Sesko scored 13 goals in 33 appearances in the Bundesliga. So where is all this noise coming from? It's just from the mouths and the fingers of jealous, bitter individuals who don't like Manchester United. And that is basically what it is. And unfortunately, they're going to have to cry more. You know what I mean? Let them cry. Saying that Gyokeres is not one of the best. I mean, he's probably the best striker in Europe right now, if not the world. Smash the like, subscriber. Thank you so much, Shah. Big up yourself. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Big up. Yale. I think Sancho will be happy to flee and continue his freedom tour elsewhere. He won't get his 30 million this year. No Champions League, so his wages reduced 25%. Hope we can get rid of him, Yale. I really hope so. Hope we can get rid of him. DSC, if we have sell Rashford, Garnacho, and a few deadwood players, I would keep Rasmus because we definitely need the cash. If we could sell Rashford and Garnacho and a few deadwood players, I would keep Rasmus. Yeah. If we could sell them. Yeah, of course. Big up DSC. Good comment, my friend. 200 million, we can get a little more. Big up, Daniel. It's a lot of money, isn't it? We can get a little more. We can. But I did say the minimum was 200 million. People were laughing at me when I said we're going to spend 200 million. They say, no, we're not. We're not going to spend 200 million. We're not. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. I told you, man. We got money. I told you. Garnacho to Tottenham for 50 million. No, he's got to go for 60 at least. Tottenham. And we don't want to sell him to a rival, do we? I don't know. The only problem with United managers has faced in the impatience for the United fans. Many people are already hammering out. Slow rebuild means patience, and United fans lack it big time. Patience is a virtue, and patience, you get rewarded for patience, Asif. And unfortunately, our fan base is very fickle, is very impatient, and they're part of the problem at the football club. You know, a lot of them have social media content creators and stuff like that. They get clicks, they get likes. They're only interested in that. That's why they scream their heads off, jump up and down like this, like big flabby things jumping up and down on their seat. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I think it's very important for people to look past that, to ignore it. Real Man United fans, to ignore it and not to get too caught up. No one's saying, right, that you can't criticize. To improve, you must criticize. Critique is very important in life in general. But the abuse and the jumping of get him out of my club sort of thing is pathetic. It shows a lack of IQ, in my opinion, in regards to football. You can really tell what they're like in real life when they do that, because obviously lack of loyalty as well. Loyalty taken out of a human being is one of the best aspects about a human being is loyalty, you know, and a lot of these people don't have it, you know what I mean? And there you go. That's why they're lonely and whatnot, you know what I mean? Tulip. So, who would you play in the back three if everyone's fit? I go Lenny, De Ligt, and Licha. I can't argue with that, Tulip. I can't argue with that. I would rotate Aiden Heaven a lot. And I would rotate in with Licha and keep Licha fresh. I would rotate Aiden Heaven. I would like to see more of Kulungi come in sometimes as well. Of course, I want to see how good he really is in the Premier League. Maybe play him in the FA Cup and the League Cup and things like that. Because I do think like we have the likes of Fredrickson as well. I do think that we have some really good young defenders coming through the system, and I'm really excited to see who we bring through. Like for example, Lenny Yoro is brilliant. I know he's not from my system, but he's a generational. He's going to be a world-class player. And I think that Aiden Heaven will as well. I really do. Yale, we quiet for a striker. We get maybe one of the most promising strikers there is. And now we are afraid he will flop. What goes on here? He got Cunha and Bremer and Bruno behind him. Can't go wrong. Can I say something, Yale? Yale, you know, yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was, the guys come on here, they're criticizing Bremo, criticizing Cunha, despite of their numbers, because we didn't sign their favorite player, you know, and that just goes to show you the mentality of some people, you know, that if you don't sign my best player, I'm going to criticize all the players there. I don't rate them. Gyokeres, the hate coming for Gyokeres mainly comes from people who want Osimhen, people who want Osimhen to play for Man United. So they're trying to criticize Gyokeres. Gyokeres cannot do anything more than what he's done. As a striker in Europe, he's done it in the Champions League. He's done it in the league. He's won trophies. He's prolific. 49 goals, isn't it, this season? What do you want him to do? Exactly what do you want him to do? You know, golden boot, isn't he? He's going to be as well. Mad, isn't it? What way people are. Sal, Jude Bellingham has a brother too. Yes, Joby. Yeah, he's been on my channel before. Well, not my channel, but he's been on my Facebook Live and stuff like that. Yeah, guys, if you're not on my Facebook, check it out. I've got a video with Joby and Jude. Check it out. There's a magician I know who does magic tricks, and they were there doing the tricks with him. And yeah, absolutely. Tulip, Sal, something people don't mention is Brexit has effect on United's transfer policy. We were signing Garnacho, Alvaro for pennies. We can't do that. No, Brexit has ruined it. You know what I mean? Because a few village people said that it was wrong. So, you know what I mean? Through people in a few villages somewhere said it was wrong. Absolutely. Guys, thank you everyone for joining me. That is me for today. Guys, sorry, I have to go quickly. Big up Scary Terry, by the way. I haven't said hello to Dream Signing. Who's your dream signing? Man United are making my dreams come true at the moment. Gyokeres is probably the dream signing at the moment. That would be great. That would be great. Absolutely. I've got a lot of players that I like. It's not. I don't just bring it down to one player. Absolutely not. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Please keep your notifications on, just in case I go live. In case there is breaking news, of course, guys. Absolutely. And thank you, everyone. Big up, Savior. Big up. Thank you so much, my guy. Thank you. Big up your comments and stuff like that, guys. Thank you very much. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. I shall see you tomorrow or later on today. If anything breaks, it's very close, guys. It's very close. Keep it locked on Stretford Post. Don't forget to subscribe and smash a like as well, guys. Thank you so much. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. This is not Breaking Dawn. That's tomorrow. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy, guys. Peace.